Tiger fans are on their feet.
As they should be.
He pulls it in for the 25-yard touchdown. And Erie, Colorado, you are title town today. Tigers are on top by 2 scores.
Hello and welcome into the Erie Tiger Network. Brandon Bird here with you. Joining me is John Kent for a little bit of a rivalry game. It's Erie at Broomfield, and it should be a good one tonight under a beautiful late September evening sky. So glad you could join us here today as the Tigers 2-2 come in today against the number 1 ranked 4A team in the state, the Broomfield Eagles. And as always, John, a little bit of rivalry here. At least that's what we've seen out of the past 4 times that we have seen these two teams face off against each other. And John, it's kind of just become a budding rivalry, really. You go back to 2020, that game was canceled, and that was brewing. Then 2021 happened. Erie blew the doors off Broomfield at home. That was Blake Barnett's sophomore year. Then it was the vaunted reversal, the blowing off the doors right here on this field. And then they met up in the playoffs, and you might remember the heartbreaking fumble at the 1-yard line in the north end zone, which you'll see kind of to the left when it's throughout the game on the left side of your screen. And then last year, the Tigers got them right back in the regular season, a 30-7 blowout win. And so kind of getting the lay of the land here. But as a student, you know, when I started teaching, it was the Miners Trophy, Erie versus Frederick. That was the big rivalry. This has kind of become the big rivalry here at the high school. What's kind of the vibe among the student body for a game like this?
Yeah, this is definitely one of the bigger games and the biggest rivalry, I think, for the students here. Now that, especially now we've moved up to 5A, and before you might say, oh, maybe it's Montrose since we had the playoff matchups and the regular season games, but now it's definitely got to be Broomfield. We got the regular season play with the blowouts and the tough losses, and then you got that playoff game with the really tough loss in the semifinals and a really close game. So you really got everything when it comes to this matchup, and I think the Erie students really do care about this game.
Well, speaking of hearing from Erie students, we sent a couple of them out to grab an interview with Braylon Tolliver earlier today.
I'm here with
Braylon Tolliver. I'm safety and running back.
You know, we got quite a big game coming up. What's it like playing in this rivalry in the past?
It's just it's a crazy, exciting environment and super competitive and just really, really physical and fun.
What's been your favorite moment of this rivalry so far?
I think my favorite moment is just the bar stools between the two schools. It's always like, just comes at somebody specific, and it's super fun.
What's your favorite pregame song?
I think today it's going to be Too Slippery by Boss Mandilo, because we got to stand on business all day throughout this entire game.
Do you like Mo Money, Mo Problems?
Biggie has a great verse in that song. That's all I can say.
You know, what's a pregame ritual looking like out there?
Definitely dunking on the goalposts. I got to see how my legs are feeling. Maybe a little 360, windmill, something like that.
If you were stranded on an island, who on the team would you want to be like stranded with?
Probably Ashy.
And why would that be?
You know, we used to play Sea of Thieves together, so we just make a great team. And if we ever got bored, we could like go hunting or something together. Something chill, something calm.
What's your favorite day of practice during the week?
I like Thursdays because you get team dinner too. And can't go wrong, especially last week when we had Chipotle. It was great.
Thank you, Braylon, for this interview. Nolan Willard, ETN, signing out.
And welcome back in, Erie Tiger Network. Thank you to Nolan for conducting that interview with Braylon Tolliver. Well, it should be a fun night tonight. There's no one on this field right now. Erie has been off the field like the last 15 minutes, I want to say. They've really taken it back to the locker room for kind of an extended period of time before this game. It's camo night in the stands here, so a lot of green, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but you know what? It is what it is. It's students in 2024. Explain that one to me, Joan. Camo night. Well, let's take a look inside of a couple of the numbers here for these teams and this matchup in particular. And first of all, I guess before we do that, let's take a look at last week's stats. When Erie took on Fort Collins, Erie really dominant, 9.4 yards per carry, 380 total yards, 4 rushing TDs, 2 passing TDs. They only gave up 306, and a lot of that was, well, you know, it just depended. Fort Collins was kind of a roller coaster that game, but it never felt like Erie wasn't in control. I think you look at the final yardage, you'd be like, oh, that was probably a 20 to 30 game, but Erie put the clock on Fort Collins pretty early in that contest.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of drives there where the Erie defense was able to shut down the Fort Collins offense after a little bit of a drive, and definitely a lot of chewing up the clock there, which did not allow the score to get super high up there for Erie.
And when you take a deep dive kind of into the quarterback comparison, these two quarterbacks, you have Darian Jackson, the Broomfield quarterback, obviously the stellar record there, 7 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. Not really a running quarterback, as you see there, only 10 rushing yards on the season, but he can stand back there and pick you apart if you give him too much time.
Yeah, definitely more of a pocket passer type of guy, whereas Ronan, a little bit less passing yards, but makes it up in the run game with the 116 rushing yards. And we haven't seen Ronan get into the end zone so far this year, but I think he's bound to get there eventually.
Yeah, it feels like he is due for sure. The tail of the tape between these two teams, the Tigers, 1,450 total yards of offense, Broomfield 1,894. Erie's strength of schedule much more difficult up to this point. You look, they have played the number 2 team in 5A. I think probably the best team in 5A in Mountain Vista. You played a really good Ralston Valley team, so that's 2 top 5 programs in all of 5A. And Broomfield, they've played one 5A team, and that was Legacy, and they beat them by 1 point last week. They knocked off Frederick, Rocky Mountain, and someone else in there as well. Monarch, 46-0. So maybe a little bit lighter of a schedule, but good numbers, and they've done what they're supposed to do against good teams, which is blow the doors off them, right?
Yeah, Broomfield definitely a little bit of a weaker schedule, but the Tigers have shown up in the games that they're supposed to win. They have blown the doors off of Brighton and Fort Collins, and then they kept it really close up until the end there with Ralston, and then Mountain Vista is just a different type of football team.
We're going to take – oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Broomfield, they've been – as you said, they've done what they've needed to do, but just barely escaping with a win there. I don't think they scored a point after halftime against Legacy, but definitely something to think about coming into this game.
All right, we are going to take our first time out here in the pregame. When we come back, we'll have the money line as well as a couple more key players to look at here on the Erie Tiger Network.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. watching the ETN. You are watching the ETN.
Do you want a better smile, have a broken bracket, or are you a teenager in need of some braces? Then make your way down to Caraway Orthodontics. They are located in Louisville and Erie. Caraway Orthodontics supports Erie High School and its community. Come in and gain a beautiful smile for children, teens, and adults. They also provide Invisalign. Call this number 303-828-0454 or go to carawayortho.com.
You know that feeling you get when your life is about to change? It's terrifying, sure, but isn't it exciting? You may not know with certainty what lies ahead, but that's what makes life, well, life. And even when the scene in the rear view is hard to leave behind, take a deep breath, hold on tight, and remember, there's no better way to move than forward.
Jeff Foxworthy.
And welcome back in, Erie Tiger Network. As you see the Erie captains ready to come on the field. We are about 6.5 minutes away from kickoff here. It's time for one of our new segments here this year. It's with Cash Rhodes, and it's Moneyline.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Cash Rhodes. Welcome to the Moneyline. I play offensive line, if you guys didn't know that. Today I'm here with
Gio.
What position do you play?
Defensive end.
And I'm here with
Gabe.
What position do you play?
Tight end, D-line.
All right. Offensively, Gabe, what are our philosophies to win this game?
Running the ball down their throat and just pounding the rock all the time.
Gio, what's our keys to the game defensively?
Stop the inside run, and when 16 drops back, get him.
All right. What's your pregame ritual, pregame meal, and pregame song that you have to listen to before every game?
I'd say probably Chick-fil-A, and maybe Creep.
Creep by who?
I could not tell you.
Cool. All right, Gio, now to you. What's your pregame meal, and what song do you have to listen to every time?
I like Chipotle. I'm going with Chipotle and some song by Kevin Gates. I'm a fan of Kevin Gates.
I like to hear that. All right. Now, who has the weird? We're gonna go rapid fire for you here, Gabe. Who has the weirdest pregame ritual?
Nolan.
What's his pregame ritual?
I don't know. He just gets dirty.
All right, that's fine. If you had to pick 3 people to be on your squad in a zombie apocalypse, who would it be on the team and coaching staff?
Graf, Ronan, Gio.
All right, Gio. Now to you. Who has the weirdest pregame ritual?
Cash.
Why do you say that?
Because I don't really know what you do, so.
We're just saying me? Nice. I like that. All right. If you had to pick 3 people on the team and the coaching staff to be in your squad in a zombie apocalypse, who would it be?
Coach Hegman. You know, he's pretty burly. Give me Graf. Graf's kind of crazy, and Cole Powell.
Valid. All right. Now for the question of the day. What animal cannot jump? Mammal. What mammal cannot jump?
Elephant.
What mammal cannot jump?
Elephant.
It's an elephant. They got it right. Back to you, Mr. Bird, in the box. Thanks for watching the Money Line.
Money.
Cha-ching!
And welcome back in. Thank you, Cash, for that rendition of the Money Line. The captains are at. I apologize. That's my bad, Maisie. The captains are at midfield there. Take a look at a key player for the Tigers tonight. As we already kind of mentioned, Ronan Ward. No Gavin Lusk tonight. Braylon Tolliver, a cast on the right hand, which means Wyatt Walston will be getting the lion's share of the carries tonight. So if you're going to have anyone play well tonight, you got to have number 0 show up in a big way.
Yeah, we're definitely going to need to see Ronan Ward have a good game tonight, getting the ball out to his receivers like Donovan O'Brien and Gabe Sema. that's going to be really big tonight, and maybe using his legs to affect the ground game now that Erie's 2 main backs are out.
By the way, another big-time player tonight, Donovan O'Brien. He's probably going to be guarded by McCall Benner, or will be guarding McCall Benner when he's out there. McCall Benner, a D1 commit to the to the Air Force Academy. So that will be something to watch for there. By the way, Braylon Tolliver, I think he got an offer to Wyoming here within the last couple weeks. You have a commitment from Cole Powell to Eastern Michigan, so Tigers not short of any D1 prospect as well. It's time for the national anthem here in the stadium. Are right behind the student section for Broomfield tonight, so you will hear that from time to time throughout the night, as you typically do here. Every time we come here, we are in a cramped little space. You're going to hate the camera angle tonight because it's on the south 25-yard line, and that's the best look that we can give you from the stadium. The other look is a little closer to midfield, but it's right behind the band, and so often that camera becomes obsolete. So we do what we can here as best we can. John, correct me if I'm wrong, is this a new field for Broomfield? I swear it was grass last time I was here.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I don't think I've ever been here before, but could definitely be a thing if maybe they changed over, a different feel for both teams on a turf field instead of grass.
By the way, if you're watching us, let us know in the chat. Is this new? Did they have grass last time we were here? I seem to recall they did, but maybe they didn't. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Erie Tiger Network and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, all that good stuff. And be sure to check out the new EerieTigerNetwork.com as we are about ready to kick it off here. Oh boy, that is not ideal. As someone holding a sign in front of our cameras, and that's going to piss off, or excuse me, that's going to irk everyone. Man. All right, we're off to a roaring start here, John. Oh my goodness, I apologize for that. All right. We're usually good at keeping this a family-friendly show. I apologize for that. Okay. So the Tigers will be kicking off, going from left to right. Tigers will do their little bunch. We have yet to see them on site it this year, and they won't here. And there's going to be an offside. I thought there was. Can't stumble on that, fellas. And Guvin will send this one deep. And it will be a touchback. One of the Broomfield coaches wanted it. I guess maybe you can reestablish. Maybe I don't totally know the rule.
Yeah, and if that was a penalty, got really lucky. We saw last week, especially at the end of the first half, Erie hurt themselves a lot with penalties. So definitely cannot see that early, especially on the defensive side of the ball, giving the opposing offense more more momentum.
So the Broomfield Eagles will come out and start from the 20 as Darian Jackson will lead the offense out there. They will go with double tight end, one wide out here to the near side. I believe that is Benner, guarded there by Collard. They'll send a man in motion. There's the handoff. Lowering the head and grinding his way for 5 yards is Colin Torres as he will move up to the 25. Quickly to the line of scrimmage go the Eagles. By the way, on the year, Torres 529 yards, averaging 7 yards a carry. There's a give. The Tigers are sealed out, and a nice little gain up the sideline. That was Elliott Less with that burst, and he will cross out for a pickup of 12 on second down and a fresh set of downs.
And I think something that's going to be really important in this game is going to be being physical in the trenches for the Tigers, stopping them in the run game, and then getting good blocks for the depleted backfield.
1st and 10, ball at the 37. Jackson in that tight shotgun formation again. This time they'll motion a man across the field. There's the snap, little pitch forward. Tigers trying to set the edge and do better that time. It was Donovan O'Brien out there, and they will snuff out the play after a gain of only 1. That time it was Colt Hammock on the carry, so 3 plays, 3 different ball carries. Actually, I think that was Grisham Lemley. Hard to tell the difference between number 3 and 2 out there. And quickly to the line go the Eagles. 2nd and 9 from the 38. Jackson will look to pass, fires the deep comeback, and that is behind his intended target. That was McCall Benner, and you can see the Tigers really respecting his speed out there. He had some room to turn, but a little bit of a mix-up there in terms of the timing.
Yeah, the ball is definitely a little bit behind. The receiver was open, I think, but just a little bit thrown behind the receiver by the quarterback there.
So 3rd and 9 now here for the Eagles. Jackson in the shotgun. This time he's got 4 wide. Tigers playing pretty tight coverage. They're going to tuck and run. Hageman the spy. They'll throw it down the sideline, and just overthrowing an open target was Darian Jackson. You could see there Carson Hageman playing spy there and put a little bit of pressure on Jackson, who had a man emerging open but overthrew him.
Yeah, and the Tigers have done a good job this year of getting pressure on the quarterback, especially against teams that are not in the top 10 of Colorado football. Last week against Fort Collins, we saw them do a very good job of that, and it's going to be really important here today to not let the quarterback have time to get it to Benner.
By the way, our feed degrading a little bit, and hopefully Megan can zoom out and realize this is a punt. Megan, first time on camera. She'll crush it here tonight. Collard will catch the punt and a decent little return across the 30 up to the 32, and that is where the Tigers will start. But big stop there for the Erie defense on the first possession when you have a team really, I think, gassed up in a rivalry game in front of their home crowd. I think that first possession is always so critical.
Yeah, stopping the early momentum of a big drive early is really big. And then we've seen last week the return game for the Tigers was good, and they're Collard able to get forward for a few extra yards, and you want a good start here for the offense.
Ronan Ward will come out with Wyatt Walston, who is starting here in place of both an injured Gavin Lusk and a slightly banged-up Braylon Tolliver, who we'll see mostly on defense tonight. They will hand it to Walston. He'll stretch it out to the far side, trying to press the hole, still on his feet, and finally gets tripped up after maybe a yard, does Wyatt.
And the run game is going to be really big tonight for Erie, because that's what's been the most effective part of your offense all season. Not to say the passing game has been bad, but it's been really explosive so far and really helpful for the Tigers. And if you get that going, maybe you can get something going through the air as well.
2nd and 8 here for the Tigers. Ward in the shotgun. He's going to roll to the near side. Looking, fires the corner route over everyone's head. He was pressured. Donovan O'Brien kind of stopped the route, as I think he thought that was covered up well, but Ronan threw it, and him and Dono not quite on the same page.
And a little bit of a risky throw there. Last week, especially at the end of the first half, we saw Ronan Ward throw up some risky balls, and they got intercepted, so you can't have that happening tonight. But good job getting the ball away and not taking a loss in that play.
3rd and 8. Braylon Tolliver out there now for the Tigers. Dual wideouts here to the near side. Neither quarterback has completed a pass here. Ward takes the snap, looking, fires the speed out. It's caught by O'Brien, makes a man miss. He's across the 45. Ball was punched from behind. And so Donovan O'Brien will lose his 2nd fumble of the season after a nice little pickup there of about 15 yards. And that was just straight punched out, and nicely punched out, I might add, coming in there from behind. And I'm trying to figure out exactly who that is. We don't believe that was Brendan Fritch that knocked that one out.
And it's a good play before that. O'Brien did a good job making the catch, good throw by Ronan Ward, and then a good job making a man miss, but just not securing the ball well enough and gets attacked from behind and gives it over for good field position for Broomfield.
So Broomfield will take over at their own 48. Jackson in the shotgun here. A little pitch forward. Tigers trying to stuff that up, and they finally clean it up. Looked like the runner there might emerge. That was Gavin Jensen, and then the Tigers just kind of swallowed him up.
Yeah, Broomfield definitely likes to spread the ball around, and then last week we saw the Tigers do a good job of making initial contact and then rallying to the ball, and they did a good job on that one too. Initial arm tackle, and a bunch of Tigers get there to stop him for a minimal gain.
2nd and 10 now. Jackson in the shotgun here. We apologize about the sign waving. Nothing we can really do about that. I think we've already kind of yelled, or at least someone, because there's 3 cameras there, so I think all 3 are none too pleased. That, I believe, was Torres on the carry, and he will pick up 4. So it'll actually be 5. 3rd and 5. Jackson, the quick out route to Bennon. He catches it down to a knee. He might be about a yard short. Benner, I beg your pardon. And no, they will give him 6 yards and a first down.
And we saw last week when Fort Collins struggled early, they turned to the short pass against Erie, and hopefully Erie has done something to diagnose that and not let Broomfield use that to effect against them here tonight.
Tigers, you can see out there a little tweak to their defense here. I won't give anything away, but it's maybe a little bit different alignment than we're used to seeing this year, and the feet churning there for Torres. Good initial line push and a pickup there of about 3 yards. A stoppage from the official in the mix there. They want to get an Erie Tiger off the field as they think he was shaken up. And Tiger does look a little bit shaken up. And I believe that is Luis Portillo. I hope he's okay. He's looking a little wobbly.
He was really good last week against Fort Collins, so definitely hope he's all right.
2nd down and 7 here for the Eagles. You have Jackson and Torres in the backfield, but almost like a triple option offense here for Broomfield. They'll run it, pitch it to the near side. The Tigers shoot into the backfield and make a big stop. Gabe Sama getting back there and dropping the ball carrier for a loss. That was Joseph Larson on the pitch, and he lost everything that they gained there on 1st down, loss of 3.
A really good penetration there for the Tigers. 3 guys got back there really quickly, and just not a fast enough play there for Broomfield to get it away from those 3 rushers.
3rd and 10 now for the Eagles. Tigers playing soft in coverage on that far side. They're going to look that way. Now they'll throw the swing route. Nice little one-handed catch, but excellent job covered out in the flat. And that's Braylon Tolliver that went out there in the flat and made the sure tackle. And that'll make it 4th and long.
And, you know, Braylon Tolliver might not be in the backfield as a running back, but he has been really impactful so far on these first couple drives on defense. He's gotten there on a couple run plays to stuff up the run, and they're a really good tackle in the open field to stop the runner in his tracks.
So 4th and 9. Broomfield's going to send out the punt team. Erie's going to kind of play alert here with a one-man back. And Broomfield will send this one away. It's a good punt. That might be too good. No, that will drop inside the 5. Takes a healthy Broomfield bounce, and it rolled inside the 1. They dove on it. The question is, did they touch it on the line? No, and Erie will have to start from their own 1. Tell you what, that hit the carpet, and it took a left-hand turn.
And just a really great punt there. It just turned directly to the left really slowly and then gave the Broomfield guys time to get there. And just a really good punt coverage and a good punt there from Broomfield to pin Erie deep.
Tell you what, that spot on the field has not been good to Erie. That is right where Blake Barnett fumbled just a couple years ago. Joe's, the wrestling coach, texted in and said, it's been turf for a long time, so what the heck am I talking about? Handoff up the middle, Broomfield trying to shoot in there, and the Tigers will grind out a couple yards. I'm not sure who that was in that mass of humanity. I think that was Tolliver, and he's shaken up, or at least slow to get up.
And just getting a couple of yards there, giving yourself some breathing space. Tolliver looks to be all right. Maybe just had some guys on top of him, maybe.
Yeah, we know there's no clock. This is a road game, so we are kind of bare bonesing it here. So I'll have to thank you for actually mentioning that. I will try and remember to say the time. 6 minutes on the dot as there's another handoff. Appreciate that comment from Amy Velasquez. And a no gain or maybe a gain of 1. Tell you what, we do not have a great vantage point from this when the play is down on that side of the field. I think it's 3rd and 7 according to the stick. So 1 yard pickup, and now 3rd and 7 with your heels in the end zone. If you're Ronan Ward, he'll take it, looks, fires the speed out again. That was collared, and that one flew incomplete. So Tigers will come away empty-handed, and they'll punt right back. And John, you kind of thought this might be a defensive battle, and 4 series so far and 4 punts.
Yeah, I thought it would be a very, very close-fought, tough game on the ground here. Broomfield last week was not able to score very effectively against Legacy, and Erie without Gavin Lusk especially, and then with Braylon Tolliver a little bit limited in the backfield, it's going to be tough to score for both teams.
Hageman heels on the end line. Tigers have to be good here. They're not going to send a rush as Broomfield. A good punt by Hageman. This one will be fielded right at midfield. Plenty of return room, though. Tigers will close in quick, and about a 13, 14-yard return for Broomfield, and a push after on the Tigers, and that's going to add another 15.
It looked like I
think it was Owen Collard.
Looked like the return man and Collard got tangled up there a little bit on the ground and just getting a little bit chippy after getting up. You can't give up. We were saying you can't let the opposing offense get some more wind in their sails, and just giving them something to start off of is not something you can afford in a game like this.
Got to be as cool as Patrick Swayze in a situation like that. So there might be fouls. No, they will back the area up, so they'll call a personal foul there.
Yeah, now if you hope that your defense can stand in again, only allowing 1 first down for Broomfield so far, and really been stout against Broomfield's offense, but not a good start for the defense.
1st and 10. Well, not a good penalty anyway. Been a pretty decent start. 2 punts. Handoff Torres, string it out, and there's more good defense there. And that time, just kind of lurking out there on the edge was Carson Hageman. I tell you what, you don't ever want to run into his arms.
Yeah, Carson Hageman, definitely the biggest difference maker on the defense. He's got 40 tackles so far this year before this game and leading the team easily. So definitely going to be calling his name out more tonight.
2nd and 10. They'll go dual wide out to each side. Jackson in the shotgun with Torres. Jackson's going to look, fires for the end zone, and overthrows everyone, including his intended target, McCall Benner, as that one will fall to the turf, and that'll bring up 3rd and 10. So a little bit of a slow start here.
Yeah, both quarterbacks facing some accuracy issues. That's, I think, the second pass from Jackson that's been off target, and then Ronan Ward obviously had the pass on 3rd and 7 in the last series that was a little bit out in front.
3rd and 10. Snap to Jackson. Looking, fires, almost intercepted. It was Dylan Firebaugh that came up from a safety position. And I like that from Dylan. Gets to maybe see into the backfield a little bit, playing kind of the other side of that too-high shell, and coming up and making the play.
Yeah, we saw Dylan Firebaugh read some plays really well last week, like some screens. And on that play, once again, just able to tell what's going to happen and be in the right spot to make that breakup.
So now a field goal attempt here for Broomfield. This is going to be Max Marchi, the junior kicker, an attempt of 33 yards from the near hash. Snap, good, hold good. The kick is up. It's long enough. It is good. And so Broomfield on top here with a field goal with 4:28 left to go here in the first quarter. And I will try. We do not have the luxury of a clock in our score bug. I will try my best to remember to give you the time. And I can do this for you. Let's make that white, maybe. That will help out our fans. There you go. It's the first quarter. All right, so 3-0 here for Broomfield. We are basically broadcasting this from a telephone booth. You know, they didn't, back when this stadium was built, there weren't people streaming games. If there were anyone, it would be radio guys. And so that's who it's built for. By the way, a huge shout out to the Harners, who have once again generously let us borrow their hotspot, which really helps out on a night like tonight. Collard's going to receive from about the 12. He's going to string it to the near side, cuts up into the teeth of the return team, and gets it out to the 26-yard line, where the Tigers will take over. Much better than the 1-yard line.
Yeah, and on this one, you really would like to see the offense start to get something going. The defense has been very good so far, stopping, forcing 2 3-and-outs in one drive that ended after 1 first down. So you want the offense to get something going and help the defense out.
So 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Wyatt Walston back out there for Erie. You have Ward flanking him. The Tigers only 5 yards on 3 carries so far. There's a quick throw to Dono. Dono makes a man miss and then cuts up the field and picks up 9. And so second catch of the day for Donovan, and a 9-yard little pitch and catch on the quick game.
And Ronan Ward in the quick game is really good, so I think we're going to be seeing a lot more short passes today. And then making those short passes does also open up the field for long passes. So
2nd and 2 here. 3:52 left to go here in the first quarter. Ward in the shotgun. Points out the defense, takes the snap, gives Walston on the little counter right into a couple of blue shirts, but still churning the legs, and grinds his way forward for about 4 yards and a first down.
Yeah, really nice to get a first down there. Just something to get the drive going and some momentum for the Erie offense.
3:37 left on the clock. Tigers quickly to the line of scrimmage. Ward will check in with the sideline. A noisy camo-clad student section right in front of us. 3-0 lead here for Broomfield. Ward adjusts. Only man in the backfield here. Broomfield playing pretty tight. We might see a deep ball here. Ward will actually send Walston in motion, and he will keep it himself. Spins out of a tackle, gets to the outside, and then slides down. And that will be a loss of 1.
And that's one of the first times Ronan has kept the ball where he hasn't made a relatively good gain. And also just a good job getting down, not taking an unnecessary hit or stringing it out and losing more than what he did.
We don't have replay tonight because of the nature of this being a road broadcast and the cramped space, but I almost wish I could see that back. That might have been a misread there from Ronan. He might have should have given that one up. Ronan takes it, looks. Ronan's going to fire one way up in the air, and just camping underneath it is the safety. And another receiver that's either stopped their route or was on a different page than Ronan.
And just another ball where Ronan puts it up deep, and just maybe a little bit of a bad decision, but a bit of an arm punt there. You could give it to him. It's not relatively horrible position for the defense, but you can't be giving up the ball and just errant throw that it has like nothing behind it.
That was intercepted, by the way, by Mason Smiley. Right now feels like Tigers treading water a little bit in the middle of a hurricane, trying to storm Hurricane Helen or something. Is it Helene? I don't remember. I should know. My sister's duking it out right now. Throw on the run, and that's a misfire. And neither quarterback has been particularly sharp so far. In fact, Darian Jackson, 2 of 7 for 7 yards.
Yeah, really, the Erie defense has been really good so far. Like, while the offense has been not on the right page for the most part, the defense has been doing a very good job of being physical up front, not allowing a run game, and then good coverage so far with some breakups for the secondary.
By the way, beg your pardon, a holding call on Broomfield will back them up 10 yards. So 2:24 left to go here in the first. And the shotgun here is Jackson. He'll run it out to the far edge. He's going to stop and cut it up, and he'll cut it right up into the arms of Gio Giampietro, our fellow Italian. Got to put some ricotta cheese on that name, you know, when you say it.
And the Erie defense just really has not been fooled by much so far. We've seen other teams have used a lot of motion and a lot of trickery to try to mix up the Erie defense, but so far in this game they've diagnosed everything pretty well.
That might have actually been a loss of one. Second and real long, thrown wide open underneath, and Dono makes a good tackle, but they will pick up about 12 yards there and make it a 3rd and 8, 3rd and manageable.
Yeah, good tackle in open space there by Donovan O'Brien. We've seen last week the Erie defense recovered a little bit and got back to making good tackles in open space after a tough 2 weeks. But we want to see that in a tough game like this.
There's a play action on 3rd and long. Here comes the pressure. Hageman in the face. They'll throw it long. They had a receiver, but that pressure again by Hageman forced the overthrow. Emerging late in that one, wide open was Colt Hammock, and they just couldn't connect, and it'll be another punt, and the Erie defense has been excellent so far tonight.
Yeah, the pressure on the quarterback has been really crucial in a couple of these plays where maybe the Broomfield has had some receivers wide open deep or coming open deep, but the pressure makes the quarterback overthrow it a little bit.
So 1:11 left here in the quarter. The Tigers will have Owen Collard deep to receive this. They'll send a little bit of pressure. That will cause a shanked punt down the left sideline, and they will mark this out. Not quite as shanked as bad as I thought. And they'll mark it out to 35, and that's where Erie will start over. Your Erie got to get the ground game going, as right now averaging 2.5 yards, not even 2.5 yards a carry.
Yeah, and really where that starts is the offensive line. We need to have some good blocks in there, and for Wyatt Walston, Ronan Ward, and maybe Carson Hageman to run behind. And even looks like Braylon Tolliver is coming back in at running back for him to run behind.
Ward in the shotgun with Tolliver, as you mentioned, from the near hash. Give to Tolliver, will kind of hesitate in the middle and then spin, and picks up only a yard.
We've just seen both running games have just not been able to make it past the line of scrimmage very effectively so far, and I think whoever gets that going first is going to have some success in this game.
43 seconds left to go here in the first. 2nd and 8 here for the Tigers. Ward takes the snap, gives it. Tolliver hesitates, now bursts to the outside across the 40, the 50. Tolliver, just caught by his shoestrings. It was the same man that made the tackle or made the interception, Mason Smiley, making a huge tackle. And that one, well, they might move this back. At least the chains have not moved.
Yeah, and on that play, there was some solid blocking on the outside by a receiver, and we saw Tolliver able to explode out, but coming back, it looks like.
So Tolliver, a decent run, was partially wiped out. All in all, it'll amount to basically a 3-yard gain.
And it's really good to see Tolliver still explosive and really an effective player in the backfield there for the Tigers.
Now Ward will check in. 2nd and a long 5 here for the Tigers. 9 seconds left here in the quarter. Trips to the near side. Ward will send Tolliver in motion. Ward takes the snap. Looking, has pressure immediately. Still looking downfield. Throws it. Ill-advised throw. And Ronan's trying to force it just a little too much, John. Let's see if they can't calm him down here in the timeout.
Yeah, in a play like that, you really don't want to try to force it in there. Your offense just barely getting a little bit of momentum with a first down and an explosive run that was called back, but still some momentum. You can't afford to give it back. But a good job there by not allowing the interception for the receiver.
So at the end of 1, it's Broomfield 3, Erie nothing. We'll take a timeout here on the Erie Tiger Network.
You know, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Well, thing is, there's a lot more to say. Like if you've ever found yourself burning yard debris and then walking away, well, you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
And welcome back in. 3rd and 5, and the Tigers hoping that the second quarter they'll go full Gandalf and find a little bit of magic up their sleeve. Ward in the shotgun, 3rd and 5. Takes the snap, runs Reed. Nowhere for Wyatt to go, and he is devoured. A loss of 1 as a hole just never appeared. And the Tiger offense right now is stuck in neutral.
Yeah, and both teams' defensive lines have done a really good job of just stonewalling and not allowing anything up the middle for running. On that explosive run by Braylon, he stretched it to the outside and was able to get something going. But up the middle, nothing has been there for either team.
Tigers send out their punt unit late. Hageman will punt this one. 11:21 left to go here in the second quarter. Snap to Carson, and he is going to pull it and run on the fake. He has one man to beat, and he bounces off him and falls across, I think, the line to gain. He does.
And really, I think we've seen Carson run for it maybe once or twice before, but I like the play call. Get something going for your team when really you got no momentum. You're a little bit stuck. You get across midfield almost, but I really like getting some momentum going for the offense.
Little 7-yard pickup there for Carson. That's kind of that rugby punt. Hey, read it. If it's there, take it. If it's not, punt it away.
And it wasn't really clear whether he had it or not, but he decided to go for it and dove for the first down. Really good play there by Carson. Effective in all stages of the game.
1st and 10, big play for Carson Hageman. Now Ward in the shotgun, flanking him, I believe, as there's an offside call on Broomfield. Let's say I believe it's Walston. And so that'll make it a nice little 1st and 5 for the Tigers. Maybe that's the bit of magic that we just mentioned that the Tigers so desperately need. Still averaging only 2 yards a carry right now. First and 10. Walston and Ward will pass it. Quick game. Dono catches and gets swallowed up pretty quick there in the arms of the defender, but nice little pitch and catch. Maybe just get Ronan and his receiver in sync a little bit. A 5-yard pickup. Well, it was like a 4.9-yard pickup.
Now we've seen O'Brien has been an effective target so far. He had that fumble earlier, but when he catches the ball and has some room to run, he's been able to pick up some yards.
2nd and short. Wouldn't surprise me if they maybe did like play action deep to Seema or something here. Tolliver, the running back, though. Oh, bad snap. Ward's going to have to pick that off the turf, and he does all the way back at the Erie 38.
You really just cannot afford that. You finally have a little bit of something going, and then you throw it all away with a bad snap. We saw last week snaps were a big problem for Erie. They got stuffed on the goal line because of 2 bad snaps, and we really just cannot have that happening. It's something that it's got to be addressed at some point.
16-yard loss for the Tigers. Goes from 2nd and 1 to 3rd and 17. Ward takes the snap. He's going to throw it in the flat to Tolliver. Tolliver trying to make a man miss, and he went nowhere fast. That was well defended out there in the flat by C.T. Worley, the senior. And that will actually lose another 2 yards.
And one of the big problems for the Tigers this year has been that they've hurt themselves quite a bit. Penalties haven't been a huge problem so far outside of the penalty on the return earlier, but the snap and some of the turnovers have really not been helpful for the Tigers.
Hageman will rugby it again, and he will boot this one high. It will bounce and takes a massive Erie bounce and roll all the way down to the 7-yard line. That was beautiful.
You know, last week we saw a good punt. This week there's that very good punt by Broomfield, and then Carson Hageman with a very good roll. And you really do like to see them get pinned deep because, you know, the offense hasn't been able to really get anything going. The defense has been really good, but however long they're on the field, they get worn down. But giving them every advantage that they can get is really big.
It was about a 55, 56-yard punt when it was all said and done for Erie and Carson Hageman. Tell you what, Carson's been the best offense tonight for the Tigers.
Yeah, Carson Hageman is really effective in really all stages of the game. You know, obviously especially his defense, but he's the punter. You see him come in at running back sometimes, and he's been able to get the grounding going sometimes.
1st and 10. Jackson will give it off. I think that's Torres, and he went nowhere fast. We talked about the Tigers not doing much on the ground. Only 2.2 yards a carry. Good grief. 2.2 yards a gain on the ground for the Eagles to this point. In fact, they actually lost a yard there.
And last week you saw a similar thing. The Tigers really stuffed the run against Fort Collins, and Fort Collins only got something going when they tried to throw it deep. But really big for the Tigers tonight.
There's a give over the left side and a much better burst that time. Going to pick up about 5 yards there for Broomfield. And that was Joseph Larson. 3rd and about 7 here for Broomfield. Maybe a 3rd and 6. Oh, man, I have accidentally hit my laptop. Told you we're cramped in here. My laptop hit a button, and now a timeout is called by Broomfield. We'll take a quick timeout here on the Erie Tiger Network.
Front Range Landfill puts all your needs in front of everything else. Front Range Landfill won Erie Chamber of Commerce Business of the Year Award, as well as being featured on national television. We are very proud of our facility, and we welcome the opportunity to address your disposal needs. Our focus is on customer service. We strive to achieve easy and rapid access in and out of the facility. We feel certain that we will exceed your expectations of your solid waste disposal requirements. Choose Front Range Landfill for all your landfill needs. You will be pleased.
Welcome back in, Erie Tiger Network. Quickly out of the timeout, 3rd and 5. Here comes the pass down the seam, and Benner, I tell you what, you know who was step for step with the future Air Force commit was Braylon Tolliver. In fact, he actually, I thought, kind of accelerated past him.
Yeah, and once again, just overthrowing his intended receiver. Good coverage there by Tolliver, and Tolliver has been really effective on defense so far for the Tigers.
John is a real football junkie right now. He has an interest in the Thornton and Frederick game. From time to time in the booth, we will peruse at other broadcasts around the state. Low snap, picked off the turf. High punt, out of bounds. And I tell you what, that was a really good punt. You picked it off the turf, and you booted it. Even though it was out of bounds, it still got you out of a massive hole. Tigers will still have good field position, though.
Yeah, and last week we saw the Tigers' offense almost didn't start with bad field position ever, between the defense pinning the other team deep and good returns from the special teams. The offense had a really good field position all game, and hopefully they can make something out of this good field position in this game.
So 1st and 10 for Erie. Ward takes the shotgun snap, looks, loads up a deep ball, little stutter and go, and safety help over the top. They're going to call a hold there on the Broomfield defender. They will call that on John Singleton.
Yeah, a lot of contact there between the defender and receiver. So really, if it is a hold, really nice for the Tigers to get some more help on their side.
So that'll be the longest gain of the night for Erie. Their other longest gain is
probably Carson Hageman.
The fumble. Well, it was actually the fumble. 1st and 10. Ward gives it. Walston trying to sneak his way through the hole, fights through a tackle, and then gets stacked up after a yard. Tried to kind of wedge his way. You know, he almost stopped moving the feet there, and then when you try and get going, hard to re-get the motor going while you're running into big old 240-pound bodies.
And Walston has tried to be a bruiser so far, but it just hasn't worked, and I think you need the explosiveness of Tolliver.
Ward's going to roll out, stops, fires back across the other side of the field. He was outside the pocket, and it was beyond the line of scrimmage. It doesn't matter that there's a receiver in the area because he was, like I said, outside the pocket, and it was beyond the line of scrimmage.
And we've seen Ward make some questionable throws early on into some coverage, but that time made a clear decision to throw it to the opposite side of the field to where everyone is at. So good job keeping the ball safe there.
Handoff to Tolliver, trying to cut it back against the grain on 3rd and long. I think the Tigers clearly have 4 downs on their mind as Tolliver picks up about 4. And as soon as I say that, what the heck do I know is Mason Gouvin will come out here for the Tigers. We just saw an attempt of, what was that, 43 yards for Broomfield. This will be an attempt of 37 yards for Gouvin. High snap, hold, low kick, off the crossbar. There is a penalty, though. That one came from the umpire, but the snap really threw off the timing there.
And the snaps have been a big trouble for Erie the last 2 weeks. Saw that big fumble earlier, and then last week on the goal line really hurt the Tigers, so you can't really be having that trip you up in situations like this.
And the umpire threw it, so this might be on Broomfield. And it might be...
Maybe offsides, or...?
No, the umpire threw it, not the linesman. And an unsportsmanlike conduct on Broomfield. And I don't know if that was on the snap mechanics or what, but the Tigers were gifted like leprechauns finding the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. A free set of downs.
You really have to take advantage of it now. You have the ball inside the 10, it looks like, so you have to capitalize on that and get some points on the board.
So first, and I think it's goal from exactly the 10. Ward takes the snap, looking, fires, man underneath. It was caught maybe at the 9. That's going to be a really short gain there. And they will mark it pretty much right back at the 10. Not even sure who caught that there, John.
I think it was O'Brien.
Opposite side of the field as us.
I believe it was Donovan O'Brien who made the catch there.
2nd and goal now from the 10. Ward will adjust the play again. You have room maybe for an Owen Collard slant. There's a give. Tolliver. I mean, nowhere to go. He might have had a little seam there to the inside, but there's been nothing there, so I don't blame him for wanting to bounce it too early.
Yeah, it's and earlier as well, he bounced it to the outside for a big gain, so definitely maybe not looking to the inside as much for Raylan Tolliver.
Ward rolling, throws against the grain, into the end zone, knocked away, incomplete. That was also dangerous. 2 Tigers in the area, but 2 or 3 Broomfield Eagles, and the Tigers will chase the field goal team back out there. And right now, John, you kind of called this one defensive slugfest. 4:40 left to go here in the second. Tigers trying to tie it at 3 apiece. A little bit better of a spot here for Gouvin.
Nice middle of the field. Just need to get a good snap, I think, this time.
26 yards on the attempt. Better snap. Kick is up, and it is right down the pipe. 3-3 the score here in Broomfield. And the Tigers, a little bit of a gift there from a Broomfield penalty twice on that drive. A hold call and then an unsportsmanlike call. And what was interesting about that unsportsmanlike call on the kick, I almost wonder if there was a
maybe some
fake snap call or something said before the, I mean,
maybe some words exchanged between some linemen.
Because it wasn't like it was after the play and it was Broomfield's ball and they backed Broomfield up. So interesting. It could have even been where they canned the center or something like that. So 4:37 remaining here in the first half, a 3-3 game here. It's number 1 Broomfield, number 1 in 4A, taking on the Tigers, who I still think the Tigers are probably a top 10 5A team. But, you know, when you get the doors blown off by Mountain Vista, hard to warrant the votes, you know. Good kick by Gouvin, and that'll be out through the back of the end zone. So the Eagles will take over. 4:37 remaining here in the first half.
And both defenses so far have really just been excellent. There has been like 0 explosive plays from either team, the closest thing being defensive plays where you get a turnover or maybe the run from Carson Hageman on the punt, but just nothing for either offense so far.
1st and 10. It's Jackson who will run or give the delay. And man, both run defenses have been really stout.
Yeah, both of these teams have been really physical so far. Haven't seen many broken tackles for either team, and just really as soon as the running back makes contact with someone, it seems like that's about where the play is going to end.
2nd and 6 here. That was a decent 4-yard pickup for Torres. Jackson gives it to Torres again. A little counter there, and that time he went backward. I mean, he went right into the teeth of the defense, shooting into the backfield, at least making him have to turn to the other side and try and bounce it out was Braden Powell.
And with Darian Jackson having a little bit of accuracy issues, maybe they're trying to get something going on the ground, but the Tigers just not allowing anything at all. Really, really good performance from the Tigers defensive line so far.
And a timeout coming from Broomfield with 3:28 left to go here in the quarter. Tigers able to tie it up with a Mason Gouvin field goal. Had one in the Ralston game as well, I believe.
And on that drive, you know, you get some help from Broomfield giving you some penalties, and you get something going with the offense, and you really would like to get a touchdown there, but tying it up, that's something. You take away the advantage from Broomfield from having the lead. So, and the defense has been performing really good. So if the offense gets the ball back here, you really need to get something going and put some more points on the board.
So 3rd and 7 here. For the Eagles, low snap. They'll try and throw the deep ball. They have the man and just barely overthrew him. It was a really good route. Little milkshake of a move there from Grisham Lemley, but just a tad overthrown. And man, that was actually a pretty good recovery there. That almost hit Jackson and the Kinkles there.
Yeah, and they've had some open receivers downfield, but just not accurate enough, overthrowing most of the time. So really helping the Tigers out.
Tigers tried to send a little bit of pressure. High kick, fielded by Collard. Collard makes a man miss and gets it up to the 49 in Broomfield territory, and that is where the Tigers will start from this drive. Well, you're the Tigers. Got to clear out the cobwebs here, all the gobbledygook that's going around mentally, and just lock it and execute the simple things. I think get the run game going.
Yeah, 2nd consecutive drive with some good field position, and you know, it's just been a quagmire of a game so far, so you really do want to get something going, whether that be the short pass or the run here for the Tigers. Maybe trying to get something going with Braden Tolliver and his explosiveness, even with his hurt hand.
1st and 10 here for Ward. 3:13 left to go here in the first quarter. Or, excuse me, first half. Ward takes the snap, gives it. Tolliver hesitates at the line, breaks it back to his left, still churns the leg, still on his feet. He was lifted up and kind of dropped to the turf after a 4-yard pickup.
And a good job by Tolliver there, really churning out a couple extra yards. We've seen most of the time once contact is made, it stops or goes backwards, but that time a good job by Tolliver of forcing himself forward for a couple extra yards.
By the way, if you include the snap that went awry, the Tigers are averaging negative .71 yards a rush. That actually doesn't make any sense because they have 21 rushing yards, so I don't know what's going on with this average. Little play action here. Ward going to step up in the pocket. He has some open field, strings out to the near side across the 40, the 35. Oh, man, he is hammered out of bounds. And Ward a little bit slow to get up. He took a healthy shot as he was approaching the sideline.
It looked like he was just a little bit upset with that hit and thought maybe it should have been a flag on that play, but Ronan Ward has the ability to be deadly with his legs, and a good job there. Doesn't see anything down the field, but does a good job of getting something going with his legs.
An 11-yard pickup when it's all said and done. Second longest run of the night. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. It's Tolliver back there with Ward. 2:25 left to go here in the quarter. Ward claps his hands, gives it. Tolliver waiting, follows a blocker, now shoves his own man to the side as he wanted to burst through the hole. Good decision making there by Tolliver. The pulling guard kind of got in his way, and he said, you know what, I'm going to use you for a moment, and then I'm going to discard you.
And a good job by the line there, getting a good push forward. We've seen a lot of fighting at the line of scrimmage, but that time they were able to push it forward a little bit and give Braylon Tolliver a little bit more room to work.
2nd and 2 here for Erie. 1:52 left. Carson Hageman, by the way, the running back here for Erie. Ward is going to give it to Carson. Carson cuts up through a hole. That was the best blocking of the night from that unit. And a nice little scamper there. All the way up to the 17, a 9-yard pickup for Carson.
And Carson is a really big, strong player, so it's pretty hard to take him down a lot of times. And a good job there by just pounding his way through the middle and getting that first down.
So 1st and 10. There's a give to Hageman, puts his foot in the ground and cuts right back in, and man, he's tough to bring down. Tell you what, they build those Hagemans strong, don't they? You started with Izzy, the power lifter who's finishing up her senior year on the cheer squad out in Clemson. Lincoln, he's the string bean of the bunch, I think. Carson, he's a powerful kid. I was talking to Carson. He said there's 2 more on the way that are also going to be little beasts.
And Carson and Lincoln Hageman are really influential players on this team. Carson, the leader in tackles. Then Lincoln, I believe, is either 2nd or 3rd. I can't totally remember if he's in front of or behind Tolliver, but really some influential players, really important for this Erie defense. And for the offense. I mean, Carson Hageman has been a good running back, 2 touchdowns in the last game against Fort Collins.
By the way, we fixed our spreadsheet. Tigers now averaging 3 yards a pop. Carson Hageman, 22 on the evening. 2nd and 4 here after the 6-yard pickup from Carson. It's still Carson back there with Ronan. 1:03 left to go here in the quarter. They'll send Dono in motion across the formation. They're going to sprint out to the near side. It's a quarterback power run, and Ronan ran right into the arms. There was a block given by Hageman, and it kind of almost propelled the defender out into the flat ahead of Ronan.
Yeah, trying to use that rushing ability of Ronan Ward, but just the defender able to stay focused and stay on his feet and not get stunned by that block.
35 seconds left. Clock ticking. Ward has pressure in his face. Well, still on his feet, looking, fires it right at the first down marker. Good decision there by Ronan. It's been a tough night in the passing game so far for Erie. And even with big old Carson Hageman trying to give him some extra time, decided to chuck it out of bounds. So it'll be 4th and 8, and the Tigers will send on the field goal unit. Carson, talk about those Hagemans. I think Dave might be the smallest of the bunch. That's the dad and the D-line coach. John's looking at me like, what the heck are you talking about? All right, here we go. A 31-yard attempt from the near hash. Snap good, hold is good, kick is up, and that was excellently swiped by the right foot of Mason Guven, and the Tigers lead it by 3, 6-3 with 22 ticks on the clock here.
And we saw Guven had some struggles early in the year, but tonight he has looked really good in his 2 kicks. Well, once again, you don't get it in the end zone. It's really nice to get a lead, and your defense has been locking down, and the offense has gotten a little bit of something going. So you feel like you have maybe a tiny bit of momentum, hopefully going into half, as hopefully you don't let up something big right before halftime.
Yeah, that was a nice kick. That whole operation that time was a work of art. A kickoff coming here for Erie. Now you just got to kind of hold your water here. If you're Erie. Get to halftime if you're the Tigers. The Tigers have been dangerously close, though, a few times to giving up a big play in the passing game. So they got to be a little bit, I beg your pardon, a little bit careful here. Beautiful kick. Guven maybe a little bit pumped up with some adrenaline after his 2 made field goals are the difference right now. I tell you what, Guven had some power on that kind of high snap. That thing was a laser beam.
Yeah, it almost was a line drive right barely over the upright, but just barely hit it, but you got it back with the penalty.
We're going to have to check that crossbar for dents later on.
And like you were saying, you really you can't afford to give something big up before half. You have a little bit of momentum going with the defense and the offense maybe getting the lead, but you can't give up some sort of big throw right before half after holding strong all this time.
All right, 1st and 10. Jackson will pass. He's looking. Oh, eludes some pressure. Now looking deep. He's going to throw it on the run, and it's out of bounds, and Tolliver made sure he was going to corral the deepest receiver out. And with 15.4 left, Broomfield trying to be a little aggressive here at the end of the half.
And Carson Hageman once again pressuring the quarterback and getting some contact on him during the throw and delivering a hit right as he threw it. So good pressure there from Hageman and just not allowing him to focus on getting a good throw out there.
There's the give up the middle and a 2-yard pickup, and that's, I think, Broomfield maybe saying, you know what, let's just take this to the locker room. Broomfield won't call a timeout. Erie's going to agree as they get the ball to start the second half. Well, it's halftime. Enjoy your Buc-ee's Nuggets or hot cocoa. It's not that cold. It is fall, but it's no pumpkin spice yet. That's another month from now. Enjoy your halftime here. We'll take a quick timeout here on the Erie Tiger Network.
Kicking off the season celebrating 35 years of serving our local community. Whether you're a contractor or a homeowner with a do-it-yourself project. At Budget Home Supply, we value a more personal relationship with our customers. Hey, Ernest. Hey, Bern. Whether you have a project in your kitchen or bathroom, a new outside deck, or just some general home improvements, indoors or out, come on down to Budget Home Supply.
Hey, I didn't order any pizza.
Jake from State Farm. After you saved me so much dough on insurance with that Parker promo, I devised a promo for you.
Here's the deal, Parker. State Farm offers everyone surprisingly great rates.
Right. Pepperoni pockets, cuckoo crusties.
There's no promo, it's just great rates.
And a cider ranch.
For surprisingly great rates and great service, call State Farm agent Jeannie Hulse in Erie today.
Are you looking to buy or sell a new home? Jen McGurk, an experienced real estate agent serving Erie, Vista Ridge, and the surrounding Denver area. For years, Jen has assisted all types of buyers and sellers with their real estate needs. Give Jen a call today at 303-949-3331 or check out Jen Realty online at jenrealty.com.
Do you have a plan in place for your family's future in the event something happens to you? Are you caring for aging parents, grandparents, or a loved one with special needs? The Germany law firm named 2017 Erie's Chamber Business of the Year provides expert legal guidance and peace of mind for you and your family in the areas of probate, elder law, and estate planning. Visit Germany Law Firm's Erie Village office or website at coelderlaw.net to set up a personalized consultation.
We are strong and we'll get through this together, but these are stressful times. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, and know that you are not alone. Visit wearebroadcasters.com/hope, furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Do you have a plan in place for your family's future in the event something happens to you? Are you caring for aging parents, grandparents, or a loved one with special needs? The Germany law firm named 2017 Erie's Chamber Business of the Year provides expert legal guidance and peace of mind for you and your family in the areas of probate, elder law, and estate planning. Visit Germany Law Firm's Erie Village office or website at coelderlaw.net to set up a personalized consultation. And welcome back in, Erie Tiger Network. Halftime here in Broomfield. The Tigers lead the Eagles 6-3. Hard to know what to totally make of this game so far. It has been a defensive slugfest here as of late. The Tigers, though, able to notch a couple field goals. Let's look at some of these halftime numbers. And Darian Jackson, 3 of 12. For 19 yards passing tonight. Grisham Lemley with 1 catch for 12 yards. McCall Benner, 1 catch for 6 yards. And Elliott Less, 1 catch for 1 yard. On the night, 30 yards rushing for Broomfield and averaging 2.14 yards per carry. Colin Torres has 14. Joseph Larson has 3 carries for 4. Elliott Less has a carry for 12. Darian Jackson, 1 carry for -1. Grisham Lemley, 1 carry for 1. And Gavin Jensen, 1 carry for 0 yards. They scored on a field goal in the first quarter with 4:48 remaining, and that is our only points of the game. 61 total yards for Broomfield, and that is it in the first half. For the Tigers, a little bit more sloppy in possession. You had an interception. You had a fumble. So 2 turnovers looming large. You also had to punt from your own goal line, and that's ultimately what gave up points there. But Ronan Ward, he is 5 of 12 with an interception and 26 yards passing. The Tigers have rushed for 53 yards, 2.79 yards a pop. Tolliver with 34, Ronan Ward with 7, Carson Hageman with 22 yards on 3 carries. Wyatt Walston with 6 yards on 4 carries. You take away the negative 16-yard missed snap, they've actually rushed for 69 yards, and that's a little bit over 3.5 yards a pop. Donovan O'Brien, 4 of the 5 receptions tonight for 28 yards. Braylon Tolliver, 1 catch for -2. You had to be excited, only giving up 61 yards, but then you turn around and you look, you've only had 79 yards of total offense if you're the Tigers. And you got some decent punt return yardage, some good field position, and you converted on field goals and a huge penalty on Broomfield there late of a 15-yard variety. And overall, that's almost been the difference in the game.
And I feel like you got to think if you had healthy Braylon Tolliver and Gavin Lusk here, maybe it'd be a different story. With so far the bruiser approach has not worked super well. It saw it maybe work a little bit at the end of the half there with Carson Hageman, but it hasn't going right up the gut with strength has not worked so far. I think we're missing the explosiveness and quickness of Lusk and Tolliver.
Tell you what, that last little drive there by the Tigers, Carson Hageman came in. That was the best they looked. Even Tolliver had an 8-yard run mixed in there. I'm actually surprised. Tolliver, 8 carries in this game. We kind of thought he might get 3 or 4, but I think in a game where it's a rivalry game, on the road, trying to notch a winning record this season, and get back in the ahead in the win columns, rather, a chance to knock off. They were number 1 last week. I checked the Colorado Prep scoreboard. They're listed as number 2 this week, so maybe they dropped down after that performance against Legacy. But a top 2 team in 4A. Well, got to say that the defense has been impressive, and you got to be happy with that.
And looking forward, this is definitely it's one of, if not the toughest games you have left, and most important, outside of perhaps a late season or an upcoming league game against a Vista Prep team that is 3-1, or maybe one of the other league opponents starts winning some of those league games. This is definitely one of the biggest games the Tigers have left against a rival, one of the better teams in Colorado. On the road, it'd definitely be a big game to get away with a win in.
Let's give you some of the scores from around the state here. In the 5A ranks, number 1 Cherry Creek tied with number 9 Pine Creek right now. 4:30 left to go in the first, at least the last time we had a score reported. Columbine, number 3, leading Heritage 12-0. It's Ralston with 6:30 left to go in the second, leading Valor on the road 10-6. Ralston ranked 6th, Valor ranked 4th. Legend leading 3-0 over Castleview. They're in the top 10. To round out the top 10 scores, you have Chatfield trailing Douglas County in the second, 14-3. They're the 7th ranked team. And then Fairview, the 8th ranked team, they're putting it on Smoky Hill 35-0. For some league opponents, Mullen tied with Regis Jesuit 6-6. That one is nearing the half. Already at the half. Legacy leading Horizon 20-7, and that's all the scores of significance in 5A. In 4A, some scores. Palmer Ridge leading Mesa Ridge in a battle between 1 and 6, 14-12. That one late in the second. Let's see here. You have Silver Creek. They are currently beating the 10th-ranked Riverdale Ridge Ravens 14-7. That one in the second quarter. Longmont, they just edge out Thomas Jefferson 34-31. And Frederick, another St. Vrain school, they are leading Thornton 35-0. Let's see if there's one more or two more St. Vrain schools in there. Holy Family getting rolled on right now at home, just up the road here from us, 35-14. Meade, by the way, they're leading Lewis Palmer 17-0 at the half. And I didn't see a Skyline score in there, but that is the scores that we have for you here as we roll on through halftime here in Broomfield. It is a lovely night for some high school football in late September. We are going to take a timeout here on the Erie Tiger Network.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You are watching the ETN. You are watching the ETN.
Do you want a better smile, have a broken bracket, or are you a teenager in need of some braces? Then make your way down to Caraway Orthodontics. They are located in Louisville and Erie. Caraway Orthodontics supports Erie High School and its community. Come in and gain a beautiful smile for children, teens, and adults. They also provide Invisalign. Call this number 303-828-0454 or go to carawayortho.com.
You know that feeling you get when your life is about to change? It's terrifying, sure, but isn't it exciting? You may not know with certainty what lies ahead, but that's what makes life, well, life. And even when the scene in the rear view is hard to leave behind, take a deep breath, hold on tight, and remember, there's no better way to move than forward.
Jeff Foxworthy here. You know, if you've ever found yourself repeating the same thing for 75 years, you might be Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Well, thing is, there's a lot more to say. Like if you've ever found yourself burning yard debris and then walking away, well, you might be starting a wildfire. So for the love of the outdoors, go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Front Range Landfill puts all your needs in front of everything else. Front Range Landfill won Erie Chamber of Commerce Business of the Year Award, as well as being featured on national television. We are very proud of our facility and we welcome the opportunity to address your disposal needs. Our focus is on customer service. We strive to achieve easy and rapid access in and out of the facility. We feel certain that we will exceed your expectations.
Welcome back in, Erie Tiger Network. Brandon Bird, John Kent here with you. We're getting close to starting the second half. Take a quick little peek there at the league standings coming into tonight. Vista Peak, 3-1, Erie, Rangeview, Legacy, Horizon, Mullen. Got to be honest with you, John. That Vista Peak game, maybe the Legacy game, going to determine the league champion. This league overall, for being in 5A, fairly soft. A soft landing for Erie in 5A.
Yeah, like I was saying, outside of the game tonight, a future game against maybe Vista Peak or Legacy, or even maybe Rangeview, is going to be probably the biggest game left in the season. Any game that could decide the league pretty much is going to be the only thing that could come up against this game. You got some. This is really the last game I think that people had circled on the schedule as one to pay attention to a whole lot.
By the way, I am not sure if that Vista Peak game will be broadcasted on the ETN. We have broadcasted from Mullen before. That one is also a little bit up in the air. Just so you know, a couple road games, not that close, against some pretty, well, Mullen having a rough season anyways. And then the season will finish out with 2 home games against Legacy and then the Horizon Hawks.
And you hope you can come at the end of the season, hopefully you win a good amount of the games in the middle here, and then at the end of the season you hope you end off with a couple home wins against league opponents to go into hopefully going into the playoffs to try to make a run there, you know.
If I'm Coach Geiger, I am making sure my kickoff return unit is alert for an onside kick because this is a rivalry game. Erie gave up one against Mountain Vista.
And really, if you're just like Erie going for on that punt, you need to try to do something to get something going. So I agree completely.
And here is the kick. Will be fielded by Collard. Collard was going to tack back to the middle. Collard dances through a hole. Oh, just gets tripped up as he crossed the 25. And a pretty good return there for Collard. They're going to mark him down at the 29.
And the offense starting out with the ball. You have a little bit of momentum, a tiny bit of we have the lead. So we're coming out of half, so you want to try to take that first solid drive at the end of the half and keep that going here in the second half.
So Ward will come out with Tolliver flanking him to his right. Ward claps the hands. He'll give it to Braylon. Braylon stretches out to the near side. Braylon, little burst of speed, breaks through a tackle, and there's a good gain on first down for Braylon Tolliver.
And Braylon just running through a couple of defenders, as well as a good block out there by the receiver. A good start for the Erie Tigers here.
Excellent run. Braylon kind of making that happen. It was kind of bottled up and then just stretched it to the near side. So 1st and 10 for the Tigers. They'll check in on the sideline. That is the longest play of the night for Erie, a gain of 17. Ward will check the play at the line of scrimmage. Ward gets it. He's going to run the quick game with Dono, and Dono will catch it and fight his way forward for about 8 yards.
And, at the start of the game, and really throughout the first quarter, the Erie offensive line looked a little bit shaky. They weren't winning outright in the run game, and Ward got pressured a lot. But it seems like they've gotten their footing a little bit here. They've gotten some better blocks, and Ward has gotten a little bit more time to throw the ball.
2nd and 2 here for the Tigers. Ward in the shotgun here with Tolliver. Gets it. Will throw the screen out to Dono. Makes a man miss across the 40. The 35 tackled from behind. Good tackle. That time he held on to the football, though. And he picked up 12 yards and a first down.
And O'Brien has really been the best receiver for Erie tonight. He's been their go-to guy. And so far, outside of that fumble, he has earned it with some good plays after the catch and just getting some good receptions.
Nice hustled tackle there by Elliott Less from behind. 1st and 10, though, for the Tigers in Broomfield territory at the Eagle 34. Ward in the shotgun, takes a snap, gives it. Tolliver cuts up the middle, had a hole there for a second and broke a tackle, then dropped to the turf as he crossed the 30 or got to the 30. The far sideline official says the 29. The near sideline official says the 30. And the umpire will look at the near sideline, and so a 4-yard gain.
And Tolliver so far has done a really good job of breaking the trend of run stopping early. He's powered through some early tackles and really pushed for some extra yardage, and you really like to see that out of your running back.
Tiger O-line a little more punch here to start this half. Sama in motion across the formation. 2nd and 6 here. Hageman, the running back, he stops, cuts at the line of scrimmage, puts his head down, and bulldozes his way forward for a pickup there of about another 4 for Hageman. And I tell you what, I like how nimble his feet are for how big of a fella he is.
Yeah, bringing in Carson Hageman in the run game has been really effective so far. He's been really smart with the ball and been done a really good job of picking where to go.
3rd and 2, big play here for both teams. Ward's going to give it. Hageman left side has a hole, and a holding is going to be called. In fact, 2 officials threw the flag. The linesman on the far side, the referee, and it's a hold on Erie. And after picking up the first down, this is going to back up the Tigers.
Yeah, and that's the first time we've seen a penalty go hurt the Tigers on offense. And you do like to see them not get penalized that much in this game, but not a good time to have that happen on your first drive of the second half when things are going decently well for the offense.
Yeah, 2nd hold of the night for the Tigers, and it turns a 3rd and 2 that was a first down into a 3rd and 12. Oh, that's a tough pill to swallow. Holding calls are a killer.
And knocks you just out of field goal range as well.
So Ward with Hageman flanking him. He's got 3 wide here. He'll send Dono in motion. And a false start for Erie. Oh, man. Cole Powell tried to get an early start there, and 3rd and 2 turns into 3rd and 17.
Yeah, and the drive up to that point was going pretty well, but you just can't afford to stunt your own success with some penalties like that.
I believe that is Erie's 5th penalty for 50 yards now. So they'll run the same play. They send Dono in motion. Ward's going to roll. Ward has pressure. Hard to do much with pressure. What a catch by Owen Collard. He hauled that one down in bounds. I don't know why there is a flag. I thought that was a catch.
Can't exactly see the sideline, so maybe landed out of bounds there, but really good grab there. And we've seen Ronan Ward sling it into close to the sideline before, and that time is the only time we've seen a receiver in the area to try to make a catch for it.
I think that's Dries Colasso, and there's an illegal man downfield on Erie, and they will run that again. So they're going to back him up, and they'll run that play again. Oh, I said that. He's a former Erie coach, and he was emphatically calling for incomplete. So had to call him out at least once here tonight, Dries. He's a good golf partner, by the way. Actually helped us one year, helped me coaching golf during that COVID year. 3rd down and, 20? Ward takes the snap. He's going to run a draw to Hageman. Hageman gets out to the outside, breaks 1 tackle, and gets maybe back to the original line of scrimmage. A pickup of about 9 for Carson.
We saw some delayed handoffs and screens work last week for the Tigers, so I like the idea, and it was a good play yardage-wise, but just in too big of a hole for that to to get it back.
Yeah, but now I think the Tigers might go for it here. We'll see. They're kind of on that border where 4th and 12 is almost too far to go for it, but you're so close. It's like punting. You might, if it goes in the end zone, you get 15 yards, so why not go for it? And they will. Ward out there for the Tigers. Ward gets the snap, looks downfield. Ward's going to fire it down the sideline, has a wide open man. It's Sama on 4th and 12, and Gabe Sama down the sideline scores, and the Tigers take the lead.
Gabe Sama was absolutely wide open on that play. That's a huge play for the Tigers. Haven't been able to get a whole lot going through the air tonight outside of some short plays, but absolutely massive to get a long pass play for the touchdown. 2-possession game now. Absolutely huge play for the Tigers and for this game.
So the Tigers, they have some 4th down magic between Ronan and Sama. He scored on that 4th and long against Ralston. I tell you what, they just have that trick up their sleeve every week, it seems like.
And Donovan O'Brien has been the main guy tonight, but then you see maybe some attention comes off Gabe Sama. So really able to use Sama effectively. Sama has been really good this year as well.
So the kick is up, and it is good, and the Tigers lead it 13-3 after the strike by Ward. We'll take a quick timeout here on the Erie Tiger Network.
Disposal requirements. Choose Front Range Landfill for all your landfill needs. You will be pleased.
And welcome back in, Erie Tiger Network. That offense, engineering a good drive. They look like they got, what is that, catnip or smelling salt or whatever you do to kind of just get pumped up. And they came out with some energy and some aliveness there in the start of this half. So 7:46 remaining here in the third quarter. The Tigers lead it by 2 scores now, 10 points. And now Broomfield will have to see how they answer for their first time on offense.
Yeah, and I think getting that separation of 2 scores is really big. The defense has been excellent tonight, so getting that separation just pumps that up even a little bit more.
4 wide here for Broomfield, and they are going to go quick game in the middle there, and a good tackle by Dylan Firebaugh, but a nice little pitch and catch, and just took what the Tiger defense gave him there on a little 12, 13-yard pickup. That is the longest play of the game for Broomfield. So both teams, their longest play of the game was made in the first play of the second half. Now, Erie has since bested that with that same pass of 36 yards, but interesting. Little pitch forward there to Lemley, and he will scurry his way for about 3 yards.
And the Tigers defense just has not really been fooled by any delayed handoffs or anything so far in this game.
2nd and 7 here. Jackson scans. Well, plenty of time. Now he'll roll, throws it deep downfield, and it was Ashy Pierce on the defense, but it didn't matter. That was an excellent catch by Gio Toledo and Holy Toledo. Both offenses coming out of nowhere.
And solid coverage there by the Tigers, but the receiver just able to make a really good catch with the defender in their face. But we've seen here, this is where Erie's defense can fall apart a little bit, is the deep passes. So you hope that they stand in strong and don't let that rattle them too much.
1st and 10 now for Broomfield. Jackson in the shotgun. 6:21 left to go here in the quarter. And some early movement there. And that will be a false start for Broomfield. So both teams want to get in scoring range and then just want to start committing penalties, I see.
And we saw last week against Fort Collins, the Tigers were able to back up Fort Collins, but that's kind of when the big play started happening, was when the Fort Collins got backed up. So you want to not let the same thing happen here. You can't back them up and then give it all right back.
So 1st and 15. Two nice little plays there. We mentioned that Jackson in that first half was like 3 of 12 for 18 yards or something like that. Another false start.
It looks like they tried to run a similar play there with some motion in the backfield, but just messing up the rhythm of the offense. So, Tigers defense, they take that, but you got to make sure that you don't let up some big pass play or some trickery like last week where you had some pitches and some laterals going on.
These drives are mirroring each other. And there's a pass down the seam and just overthrown. They were trying to hit Toledo again. And I actually thought maybe there was a slight little baby tug of the jersey. That would have been hard to see from the back judge. Wouldn't have mattered anyways. There's a hold on Broomfield. Missed that one.
And just once again overthrown. I mean, if you're going to miss long so the defender doesn't have a chance to do something with that. But Jackson has just overthrown some really crucial receivers so far that have been quite wide open for possible touchdowns.
5:34 left, and we just went from 1st and 10 to 1st and 30. All the way back at the 49. They got to get to the 19 is Broomfield, and they have 3 plays to do it. And Erie is still all within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. A little surprised they're not being a little softer here. Here comes the pressure, though, by Erie. Jackson able to get out of it, bounces off a defender, and finally lassoed around the feet. And he is dropped for a loss of 1. I think G.O.G. and Pietro got it in there. We saw him do the little peekaboo last week. I think he just popped right back up and said, let's run it again.
Yeah, we saw some good penetration there by Erie, but and Jackson able to slip away for a second, but just not able to get out of the pocket. And a really good play, not letting him try to get something going downfield as they sent some receivers pretty deep.
Yeah, you said it there, John. The Tigers had some penetration in the backfield quickly on that one. 2nd and 31. Here comes the pressure again, a seam pass and overthrowing everyone. And the Tigers a little bit living on the edge there.
Yeah, and the pressure the Tigers have been able to get on Jackson, I think, has been a bit of a reason that he has been overthrowing guys so much. On that one, as he's throwing it, there's a guy barreling down towards him, and he gets hit right as the throw gets out. So I think the Tigers' pressure, forcing him outside the pocket and then just getting in his face a little bit has been a problem for him.
There's a penalty on Erie, and I'm sorry. I looked away, and I don't know what that was, but that is a personal foul. But how?
Oh.
That is
roughing the passer is what they just said.
Roughing the passer. Oh, that hurts.
So apparently that hit right after he threw it was a little bit too far after.
Well,
there have been some really messy offensive.
It's an automatic first down, roughing the passer is. So it just went from 2nd and 78 to 1st and 10. Tough one there. So started all over here. There's the quick game. Oh, knocked away. That actually hit the back of Lincoln Hageman's helmet, I think, or his arm, and fell incomplete.
Yeah, and the Tigers have done a good job tonight of knocking away passes. We saw Dylan Firebaugh a lot earlier on in the game do that, but they've just denied the pass game really well, and then on the ground they just have not allowed big runs.
Saw Lincoln with the interception last week. Got out quickly to kind of guard against the quick game there. Hard to test your ball skills, though, when you are trying to catch it with the back of your helmet. 2nd and 10 here for the Eagles. Low snap. Jackson has some pressure, steps up, and that time the Tigers well defended. In fact, the closest man to that was Dylan Firebaugh. He got some high fives, I think, from Jason Jelly down there on the field. And that reminds me, if you haven't seen the little films put out by Jason Jellis and Taylor McMaster, you got to check it out on YouTube. Maybe we'll try and tweet that out here maybe next week. There's a give to Torres, and on 3rd and 10, I think they wanted to make this 4th and manageable.
And a really big hit there.
So 5-yard pickup makes it 4th and 5. So Broomfield's going to go for it, and they want to return the favor here. And I tell you what, could these two drives mirror each other? 4th down, about the same spot. The Tigers were on the 36. This is from the 32. Jackson, and a timeout called just before the snap. And Coach Geiger, Coach Graff, they'll talk things over with the defense here with 4:02 remaining here in this one. Well, here are the Tigers at 4th and 5. I mean, you had one drive and you scored off a beautiful 4th down call. And now Broomfield trying to return the favor a little bit here.
Yeah, and on that roughing the passer, they almost had it, just a little bit overthrown. Almost had it on that 4th or 3rd and 20-something. Almost had that long play for a touchdown, but just overthrown again. That's been the biggest problem, I think, for Broomfield tonight, has been overthrowing open receivers down the field.
So, big moment here in this game. I think if you're Broomfield, this is almost a must convert. Erie offense rolling a little bit hot. You had it all the way down here inside the Tiger 30, and 4th and 5. They're going to get sacked from behind. A big hit. GM Pietro, he plants Jackson into the turf, and it's a turnover on downs.
And GM Petro's the team leader in sacks with 4 coming to this game. Just an absolutely enormous play there. Good coverage by the secondary to give GM Petro enough time to get to the quarterback, and really huge to not let them return the favor by converting on a 4th down and just stopping that drive by Broomfield. Now, offense comes back out. You just had a touchdown. Hopefully you can get something else going and get a little bit more separation here.
Man, Gio just absolutely exploding that play to bits. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. And trying to exchange the ball here. There's 3 footballs on the field right now. The ref is checking one of the balls. He's shuttling it back to the Erie sideline. Okay. Balls are checked. We're ready to go. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Man in motion across the formation here. Ward is going to keep it himself, and he is going to get spun around and just gobbled up there. A loss of 2, maybe even 3.
And coming into this game, those read option plays for Ronan have been really effective, but so far tonight he just hasn't been able to get it going. Maybe making the wrong read. Maybe just the defense for Broomfield has been really strong.
3:31 left to go here in the 3rd. That was Ronan's 3rd rush for a loss. He'll give it to Walston, and Walston tried to fight through a tackle, and Broomfield playing with a little bit more heat. Get another tackle for loss. And after a beautiful last drive, Tigers now face 3rd and 13. 3:03 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Tolliver back in for Erie. I'm surprised we have not seen many screen passes for Erie tonight. Ward, he's going to throw the speed out to Collard, who catches it, tried to break a tackle, instead got tripped up as he tried to turn it up the sideline. And Collard is a little bit gimpy after that one, a 7-yard pickup from Ward to Collard.
And like you were saying, the screen pass was used to good effect last week against Fort Collins, so I too am a little bit surprised that we haven't seen something similar tonight.
So Carson Hageman, and he might have a little punt option here. Carson will boot this high into the Broomfield Knight. That one will bounce, it's dropped, it's on the turf, but Broomfield jumped on it. The returner just barely hopped on it after he lost it on the turf. That was Mason Smiley. And Broomfield will start way back, I believe, around the 11.
A really solid punt there by Hageman, and then good coverage on jumping on the Broomfield returner. Pins the Broomfield offense pretty deep here for the defense.
This drive will start with 1:52 remaining. First and 10 for the Eagles. At the 9 is actually where they will start this. Jackson, he's going to pitch it out wide. Tigers trying to seal the edge, and pretty good job of just kind of weaving his way through traffic was Limley, and he picks up about 8.
And we saw a similar or the same play earlier go for a loss for Broomfield, but that time able to get some blocks going. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit shaken up was Lemley, so they stopped play so he could run off. 9-yard gain when it was all said and done. 2nd and 1 here for the Eagles. Jackson in the shotgun. He's got 2 wideouts to the near side. There goes a handoff. Little cutback. Nice running, tough running by Colin Torres. In some ways, Colin Torres is kind of like the traditional fullback. Just a big bruiser in what really is, in some ways, a modified triple option offense.
Yeah, and Erie has done a good job of stopping that tonight, but nice run there for a gain.
So 1st and 10 after Torres wasted no time hitting that hole. Now snap, give, and another good run by Torres. In fact, 3 good runs to start this drive for Broomfield as Torres picks up another 7. So 2nd and 3 here. 27 seconds left here in the quarter. Snap, give. Torres stumbled as he tried to cut and fell down right at the original line of scrimmage.
And that time we saw a lot more of what's been happening tonight, where the Tigers just stonewall at the line of scrimmage. And before the Erie's first drive, that's kind of what was happening for both teams, but Erie was able to get it going on the ground a little bit, and Broomfield trying there.
And that's going to do it in the first quarter as Broomfield will let the clock run out. It'll be 3rd and 3 when we come back here on the Erie Tiger Network.
Kicking off the season celebrating 35 years of serving our local community. Whether you're a contractor or a homeowner with a do-it-yourself project. At Budget Home Supply, we value a more personal relationship with our customers. Hey, Ernest. Hey, Bern. Whether you have a project in your kitchen or bathroom, a new outside deck, or just some general home improvements, indoors or out, come on down to Budget Home Supply.
Hey, I didn't order any pizza.
Jake from State Farm. After you saved me so much dough on insurance with that Parker promo, I devised a promo for you.
Here's the deal, Parker. State Farm offers everyone support.
Welcome back in, 3rd and 3. Just a quick quarter exchange, and oh man, Carson Hageman, a hammer on the inside, stopping Torres after a gain of only a yard, and that'll bring up 4th and 2.
Carson Hageman once again being a huge difference maker, but you got to think if you're Broomfield here, you might want to go for it. Even if you're a little bit in your own territory, you have nothing going, so you really need something as a spark.
Defense has been pretty good. You got still the entire 4th quarter. If you're Erie, you definitely want to watch for any trickeration. They do have the punter out there. No one is deep, by the way, for Erie. And a timeout from Broomfield. No one deep for Erie and a timeout by Broomfield makes me wonder if that was a fake. And they were just like, you know what, we better re-talk this over, or maybe run a play from an offensive formation or something. I don't know. But it was Erie that looked like they were a little bit lost, and Broomfield had to burn the timeout.
And we've seen in the first half, Broomfield used a lot of their timeouts early, and then using one early here, you got to think that's not going to help the clock management later if you're trying to mount some sort of a late scoring attempt.
By the way, Broomfield 148 yards tonight, 173 for the Tigers. So Broomfield will come out here with their punter. Erie again with no return man. So they're playing this like it's going to be a fake. And Broomfield will not fake it. Gianpietro still almost got back there. And with no returner, this takes an excellent bounce and keeps rolling, rolling, rolling all the way down to the Erie 4-yard line. Well, with no returner back there, you know, I don't necessarily disagree with the thought process there from the Tigers. Looking down at the students, there's some bent bleachers, just like, tell you what, they bend everywhere.
Well, I think if you're Erie, you're thinking be safe, make sure you get the ball back, and then maybe try to run some clock off here. Try to get a long time-wasting drive here to get closer to the end of this game.
This is one of those times, if you can get a long drive, that's a game-winning type of drive. Ward will give it to Walston. Walston stutters and then just tries to get north and south quick and gets a yard, maybe a yard and a half.
And I'm a little bit surprised that we haven't seen a little bit more of Carson Hageman here. As when he came in, he was pretty effective on the ground. And I don't know, I feel like I'd expect to see him a little bit more.
Ward, play action, quick to Dono. Dono dropped it, and they'll actually say he caught it and fumbled. No, incomplete. That was a late call. And now, speaking of Carson Hageman, he will check in here for Walston. 10:29 left to go here in the 4th. 3rd and 8 for the Tigers at their own 6-yard line. Ward taking his time here. Clock not running, so just want to make sure he has the right snap. Plenty of time. Now he's flush from the pocket. He's going to throw it down the sideline, and that one is out of bounds. I think Sema was the intended target, but the official threw his hat off. So had Sema tried to catch the ball, that would have been an illegal touching. And the Tigers will have to punt. This is the second time that Hageman will be asked to punt from the shadow of the back of the end zone. .10:21 left. Hageman to punt deep in his own territory. Gets a nice, high, spiraling punt. That one was bobbled, but then returned here nicely, at least initially. And good job cleaning that one up from behind, but a decent return up to the Erie 36.
And with the Broomfield offense getting some good field position here, I think it's going to be really big for the Tigers to lock down and really stand in and make it at least a tough time getting some progression on the field.
So 1st and 10 for the Eagles. 10:09 remaining here this one. Snap, pitch play to the near side, and losing his feet was Limley as he tried to break it into the open field. Tigers have done a good job kind of pursuing sideline to sideline. Maybe a yard on the play.
I think that's about the 3rd time they run that play, and one time is for a loss, second time is for about 9, and that time only for a yard. So Tigers doing a good job of containing that.
Jackson looking, quick game there on the quick curl, and Ashy Pearson coverage. A little bit too much space, and they're going to call that a 1st down as that is spotted out at the 26. So a 9-yard pickup there. That was hauled in by Gavin Montoya. First and 10 here for Broomfield. You have Torres in the backfield with Jackson. They're going to hand it to Torres on the little delay. He's got a seam down the sideline, and honestly a pretty good hit there by Collard as he kind of knocked a Eagle through into Torres, but not before Torres picked up a decent chunk.
Yeah, good job stopping what could have been a touchdown run, but if you're the Tigers here, you really got to try to stand in and stop a touchdown here and stop them from getting back in.
They'll pitch it back on the little inside kind of it's almost like a little inside reverse. Actually gained more yards. The Tigers diagnosed and bottled it up, but good job fighting for extra yardage. I keep marking those as run plays, but actually, technically, they are little pass plays. And so a 3-yard pickup to Joseph Larson. And an Erie Tiger is down and cramping on the field. I think that is Braden Powell. 8:47 left to go. Erie leads by 2 scores. The Tigers, you might remember, last time they were on this field, they were trying to storm to make the comeback of the century in the semifinal game. Got it down to about the 1 or 2 yard line. Blake Barnett got the ball punched out, and the Tigers came up a little bit short on that day against Broomfield.
Yeah, definitely some history here. You'd really like to get away with a win. Along with just being a good win for the season, getting back into a winning record and a good win against a good opponent. I think it's a good win morale-wise for the Tigers, beating an opponent that you have some history with and someone that you'd really not like to lose to.
So 2nd and about 7 here. And Tigers almost needed a little just moment to kind of recalibrate. Just a touch. 8:43 left to go. They're going to run the fade and just overthrows it. Was Jackson. A little hand fighting there. Tried to get it to Benner.
Some good coverage there by Collard, I believe. Making sure that Benner doesn't have a chance there. And really, outside of some of these long throws that have gotten overthrown, the Tigers have had some good coverage in the medium and short game.
3rd and 7. Jackson will send a man in motion. Gets it. Pitches it out wide. Tigers right there all over that. Cole Powell in there, Lincoln Hageman in there, and that might even be a loss of about 1.
It looked like it was Lincoln Hageman that slipped in and was the first contact before 2 other Tigers rallied to him to secure the tackle there. And a really good job. They're not getting fooled. They've gotten strung out a little bit on some of these pitch plays. A good job of not allowing that so far.
And Broomfield will call a timeout with 8:08 left. It's 4th and 7. And they got to think about this. I tell you what, they're down 10. I'm a little surprised that they didn't think about sending their field goal unit out, at least initially.
Yeah, cut it to just a 1-point deficit with your field goal unit. It's just you get some good field position just because the good return and the Tigers punt. So maybe you think, when are we going to get this field position again? So,
and there is the field goal unit for Broomfield. This is a big field goal. I mean, it's going to be a field goal attempt of only 29 yards. It's from the near hash, which makes it a slightly tough angle. A lot of pressure on this. And a big moment here for Broomfield. 29 yards. Marchie. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up, and it is pulled left. No good, and Broomfield is still down 2 scores.
And that is an absolutely enormous field goal miss for this game. The Tigers still in front, and you get some decent field position to grind down the clock even a little bit more.
That looked like a Tyler Muir golf shot. I hear he's been working a little bit on his golf game. I'm sorry, Tyler. That was a paid promotion to say that. First and 10 for the Tigers. It'll be Hageman in the backfield with Ward. Snap, give. Carson stutters at the hole and then just puts his head down. And, man, Carson Hageman, I said this kind of tongue-in-cheek last week, but I really mean it. Almost looks like he was born to play running back. I mean, he looks good out there. Every time he's touched the ball, he's gotten at least 4 yards tonight.
And when he lowers his head, there's just so much power behind it, and he really is able to just push through and just really just be a strong back for Erie.
So 2nd and 5 here for the Tigers. 7:28 left. Tigers trying to get Broomfield to jump. Now they'll give. Tolliver stutters and just dropped. Dropped immediately. No gain. I'll tell you this much. Broomfield was selling out on the run.
Yeah, and for most of the game on both sides of the ball, it's just been really tough to move it up the middle. And the only thing that's seen success has been Carson Hageman has been able to push through a little bit a couple times.
2nd and 5. Ward with 6:45 left to go. He'll check with the back judge. Has his hand in the air. Takes a snap. Looks. Wanted to pump. Now he'll throw the deep ball in between a couple Tigers. Wasn't quite sure who that was intended for. You had a couple Tigers in the area. You had Gregory Oxiger, as well as, I thought, Donovan O'Brien in the area, and that one hit the turf. And the Tigers will punt that away after going 3 and out.
And I think if you're the Tigers, you might want to drain just a little bit more time off the clock. There's 6.5 minutes left here, so if you get maybe a minute or 2 more off the clock there, it's starting to look like a really tough comeback for Broomfield.
Snap to Carson, and he almost got that one blocked, but got a half-decent one away, and that'll bounce out of bounds all the way back down inside Broomfield territory to their own 40 is where they will start. Well, 6:30. Tigers haven't been in too many tight ones. This is tight, almost kind of like the Lululemon that Joe Ferreira, the wrestling coach, likes to wear. And big Lulu guy. So 6.5 minutes.
And you almost got to think down by 2 possessions. This is kind of gotta be one of the biggest possessions of the game on both sides.
So 1st and 10. Jackson looking, fires underneath. That one is caught and up the sideline. A nice play there. That was Lemley. And Lemley has kind of been the spark plug here for Broomfield in this 4th quarter.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of that speed to stretch out the play to the outside edge. We saw Erie get destroyed by that against Mountain Vista, but a little bit of that speed has been helping Lemley to stretch out some plays and gain some extra yards.
1st and 10. Here for the Eagles. 6:24 remaining in this 4th quarter. They are down 2 scores, and the Tigers, I think, want to call a timeout. Tigers just want to remind their players here, but hey, you're up by 10. You still got to play aggressive here.
Yeah. For the most part, it seemed like especially the offense has kind of just shut down and gone into don't screw up everything mode and just like play safe. The defense has I think, been more focused on trying not to let up a huge play, but it's resulted in a lot more of these medium and short explosive runs and passes that have given Broomfield the ability to move down the field a little bit more effectively.
So 1st and 10 here for the Eagles. 6:24 remaining here in this game. There's the fade route down the sideline, and just Benner beyond him. That was fairly good coverage there by Steven Staff, hanging with Benner, the Air Force commit. And at the very end, that was a good job. Benner, what he did is he kind of bought some space by kind of pushing back toward the numbers and then accelerated out and created just a little bit of that space.
Yeah, but Staff just does a good job of have just tight enough coverage to where you need a near perfect throw to get it in there.
2nd and 10. There's a throw. Intercepted! Braylon Tolliver. He's going to run back the other way across the 50. Tolliver, he's got one man to beat, and he will push him aside, and he will score. Braylon Tolliver, the pick 6, but it's going to come back. I just looked back, and there is a flag down in the spot of the interception. Heck, they might even call this interference.
And Tolliver, that entire play, was just staring at the quarterback. He was just watching where the quarterback was going that entire time. Quarterback, I think I threw it behind or in front of one of those receivers, and Tolliver just perfectly sitting in that pocket between them and able to catch it.
There is another flag either way, so it wasn't going to be a pick 6. 2 flags. I'm just really curious as to what this call is all the way back near where the interception happened.
Yeah, right in the middle of the field where that interception happened, I think, is
well, it wasn't interference. I can tell you that much. I just saw the replay.
Maybe some sort of blocking penalty on the return is what they're looking at. They're moving the sticks up, so.
Yeah. Tell you what, I went back, I looked on our stream, and they're going to call maybe a blindside block on Steven Staff. I got to tell you, John, that's a little bit of a weak call there. You see that?
Yeah, that I don't totally agree with this. It's not the most necessary block ever, but I don't totally agree with that either.
So 6:06 remaining. Tigers will take over on their own 26 with Ward in the shotgun. Man, what a beautiful return by Tolliver, wiped off the board. Handoff up the middle. And there was a big collision in there, and that was Wyatt Walston.
And that pick 6, that's the second time we've seen a really explosive Braylon Tolliver play get wiped off the board. So he has been able to make an effect so far, but it just hasn't been able to stay on the field really because some penalty has come in during the play.
No gain. Tigers will try and burn some clock here. You're Erie. I know you want to get a first down, but I tell you what, burning clock is as good as gold right now. See if the Tigers can maybe throw a little wrinkle here in their run game. Now Ronan takes a snap. He'll give it. Walston will cut it back against the grain and chops the feet and gets it maybe out there for a yard.
And Broomfield so far tonight has done a really good job against Walston of just stopping him very quickly. Walston typically does a good job of being that bruiser type of running back and just running through guys, but I think he's just had trouble getting help with the blockers to get going.
3rd and 9. 4:45 and rolling here. Tigers quickly to the line, but Ronan's going to check the back judge and use all this clock. I think that's Hageman now in the backfield. The official starting to count down. 5, 4. They'll snap the ball, give. Hageman will run it over the right side, and he will get no gain. And so a good job doing exactly what they needed to do was Broomfield, and then the clock will roll here.
Yeah, while you don't get a first down there, you do waste a lot of time. And with hopefully you get a good punt off, there's going to be only about 3.5 minutes left for Broomfield to come back from a two possession deficit. And they've already used a couple other timeouts as well.
Hageman wants to take the maximum time. 10 on the play clock. 5, 4, 3. There's the snap. And this is a high, beautiful boot. Takes a tremendous Erie bounce all the way down to the Broomfield 20. And we could hear maybe the Erie coaches clapping across the press box here with that 3:25 left to go. Low scoring affair here.
And I feel like the player of the game has got to be Carson Hageman. He has just been really influential. He's been in there to stop the runs and on defense. He's had multiple very good punts that he had the offense continue going with that 4th down fake punt. And then on the offense, he's been able to get something going on the ground game. So Hageman has been really, really important in this game for the Tigers.
1st and 10. Jackson takes a snap, rolls, fires, caught underneath, and finally corralled out of bounds. Dono maybe giving a little extracurricular push there. A pickup, though, of 8 on the pass play.
For the defense here, you really just have one objective. You just can't give up anything that gets too much distance too quickly here. I think you can afford to give up some short plays, but you can't afford to give up big plays without wasting time.
Ronan Ward in there at safety, by the way. There's a throw and a tipped pass, actually. I think it was partially tipped by Kyler Campbell as he was trying to get in there. That pocket was collapsing real quick. Tiger D-line, which has been real good tonight, can really pin their ears back here.
Yeah, and Donovan O'Brien in on that play. Really good coverage on the receiver, just not allowing an easy check down for Broomfield.
So 3rd and about 2. And good defense there by Tolliver. And that was overthrown. No one was in the area. Tolliver was basically like glue to the receiver. And it was just like, you're not going to just run through me. I'm going to stand my ground here. I think some people might have thought could be pass interference, but that was still, within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage.
And a solid job there. We saw in the last couple drives, Broomfield found some success with short passes, but the Tigers there able to lock it down.
4th and 2. Handoff. And Broomfield will just barely get it.
But that's the type of play that you want happening. Obviously, you'd like to stop the first down, but wasting some clock. Broomfield's still in their own territory.
3 minutes and counting left here. Quick turnaround, caught. Tigers got to stop them short of the sideline or the first down, and they won't do either. That is a miscue there for Erie as Les caught that about 5 yards short and then just grinded it out for another 5 to ultimately stop the clock. Now Broomfield again. Jackson takes a snap, rolling, looking. He'll take it himself against the grain, and he will stretch it all the way out of bounds. And another good run. That's going to be 11. They're trying to just chip away. 2:34.
Although they get the first down there, the Tigers did do a good job of covering any passes that he might have. Just pocket opening up a little bit too much and able to run for a first down there.
Tigers soft in their coverage here. They don't want anything over. Oh, and a misfire there. Tolliver came up and gave a shove.
I thought Tolliver might even have a chance at a pick there.
Yeah, the way he broke on the ball, I thought
he was going for a interception.
2.5 minutes.
Looked like the quarterback and receiver weren't on the same page, as the receiver didn't turn his head until the ball was almost at him already.
Hageman needs a breather, so Carson trots off to catch his breath here real quick. 2:30 remaining here in this one. It is 2nd and 10. Jackson thrown it 28 times tonight. Pass number 29, looking, had a man maybe emerging deep. The spy is Campbell, and Jackson will run it up the sideline across the 20, makes a man miss, and he will scamper into the end zone with 2:18 left. The Tigers give up a 46-yard run, but there is a flag all the way back at the 50.
And I think there might have been some holding against Gio Giampetro on that play with as he was trying to pursue Jackson. But the Tigers trying to contain everything over the top, but just leaving so much space underneath that it allows something like that to happen. Maybe going to get bailed out here by a penalty on Broomfield.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch this back. I'm looking at Gio. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got laid
Gio
out.
got tackled behind the line as he was. He had beat the left or the right tackle, and then he just got buried, but not in the pancake kind of way, in the I've gotten beat, oh no.
I'm just going to fall on.
Yeah. So a good call there by the official. We'll take this one all the way back to the 44. Little quick out, catch and a tackle inbounds. Ooh, that's a tough one there for Broomfield. Only a pickup of about 5.
Yeah, great tackle by Lincoln Hageman, making sure the receiver stays in bound and just not allowing even a big pickup. It's 3rd and almost
15.
15, yeah.
So 3rd and 15, 1:52 remaining. Jackson flushed. Jackson will have to throw it away. Jackson took a big pop. The Broomfield coaches are begging for a roughing the passer, but that ball. Oh, and now a penalty coming on the Broomfield head coach, or a coach down there.
Yeah, but late in this game, Erie has done a really good job covering the deep pass. We saw all the way up until about the third quarter, or late third quarter, there was a lot of openness down the field, which wasn't punished because the quarterback wasn't able to hit the receiver. But late in this game, the quarterback has just not been able to get anything going down the field, or even in the middle game.
1:47 remaining, and now it's 4th and real long, folks. They'll run it. Intercepted! Dylan Firebaugh! He's on fire! And a big pick for Dylan there. I was talking to him in class today, and he mentioned last time he was on this field in the regular season, he got cooked for a TD, and that's got to be a good feeling there for Dylan. He is a good kid. He has overcome a torn ACL in his career here, and got a big pick there. Good to see from Dylan. Second pick of the game.
That really puts the game on ice for the most part as well, so huge play for Dylan Firebaugh.
1:42 left, only one timeout. Erie is actually going to call a timeout because I think they can just victory formation kneel it. Don't need to do any run plays. There's only one timeout, I think, for Broomfield.
Yeah, I said earlier they're using up a bunch of their timeouts earlier in the game and unable to use those timeouts to capitalize on or to get good plays.
Yeah, scoreboard showing one timeout. So here's the clock scenario. It's 1:42. Erie runs a kneel down, let's say. It takes 3 seconds. And then there's 1:39 left. And then 40 seconds. You get timeout. So 1:39. Then they run a play of 2 or 3 seconds, a kneel down. And then it goes all the way down to 59 seconds. You do it again. It goes all the way down to 19 seconds.
Yeah, so
it's,
unless there's some sort of miracle for Broomfield, it's pretty much over here. He decides to kneel it.
Well, yeah, I think you run it just to try and melt off those, extra 10 or 15 seconds. So there is a shaken up Tiger.
No.
Is that Cash?
He popped up. Looks okay. 51.
Yeah, that was Cash.
Popped right back up, so maybe just something pressing on him in a weird way.
So that play, you run it. It takes a couple extra seconds other than a kneel down. And now you can run this all the way down to about, a couple seconds left on the play clock. Hard to wait too much longer because there's no actual play clock here. You're looking at the official's arm, and so give there to Hageman, and Hageman, good little job weaving his way for a gain of about 6, maybe 7. So how about that? The Tigers are an eyelash away here from unevening the series.
Yeah, a really ugly game, but you get away with a win, and it's really just a big win going into the back half of the season here.
And Broomfield, if they do call a timeout, might be right at the tail of this play. 20 seconds left. There goes the official, arm in the air, 5, 4. There's the handoff with 13 seconds left. Hageman can't go out of bounds unless he gets the first down. I think he did.
Looks like he got the first down, yeah.
All right. So Carson picks up 5, and that's going to do it here, John. The Tigers beat their rivals Broomfield in a defensive battle. A big third quarter for the Tigers, and they're going to improve to 3-2.
And while it has been a bit of an ugly game offensively, the defense has been absolutely superb. Nothing has been allowed on the ground, only some short pass plays. And then anything over the top was either overthrown because of pressure or well covered.
Ronan Ward kneels it down, celebrating a little bit. The Tigers knock off their rivals, the Broomfield Eagles, and they improve to 3-2. The Eagles drop to 4-1 on the season. And you look at this, John, gritty win, 192 total yards on offense. Broomfield actually outgained them there with the last couple of garbage time drives, 228. But hold them to under 230 yards. Really, the defense came through in a big way for the Tigers tonight.
Yeah, the defense was the key to this win. The Tigers' offense really was not able to get anything going. You had that long pass to Gabe Sama, and then other than that, a couple field goal drives. But the defense absolutely huge, able to lock down on the couple solid drives Broomfield put together. They were able to lock down. So really impressive game for the Tigers defense.
Our camera operator Megan has had enough, understandably so. She's been standing for a couple straight hours. That's going to do it for us here in the broadcast booth. For Maisie, our producer, and Megan, our camera operator, and John, our color guy, and some fun behind the scenes with Mr. Carpenter and some friends watching in. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Once again, the Tigers win it by a final score of 13-3. They are victorious here in Broomfield for the first time. That's going to do it for us. I'm Brandon Bird. Till next time, Tiger fans, I'll chirp at you later.